Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for tuning into our podcast. It's about payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll industry or a seasoned vet, this is the podcast for you. So now please allow us to introduce ourselves.
I'm Brian Escobar, originally from New York City, but now in South Florida. I've been in payroll for 20 or so years. And like most stories I read about payroll people, it happened by accident. Like the way we get into payroll just happens by accident. Nobody's like, hey, you should go out and become a payroll professional for a living. My first job was very corporate, learned a lot. I was a very well oiled machine, small shop as far as headcount. So it was easy to learn payroll and keep it under control. I went on to other industries and ultimately became niched in education. I
Mhm.
started. What was my first education? Was in New York, of course, and it was at a major university, Ivy League university. So that was very cool. And then I guess from there, just folks just saw my education background, and more education companies gravitated to my resume when I was looking for work, and so became niched in the education space. And it's been great. I'm really excited about where payroll is going, the application of cloud computing and supercomputer processing speeds. It really opened up a new lane for payroll, and I'm excited to be a part of that conversation in the coming years. What about you?
Yeah, man. Thank you for that, Brian. Hey, guys, I'm Walter. I have over 20 years of experience in the payroll industry. Started out in the military as a dispersing clerk. I chose that job. Had a lot of fun. Was able to travel and really get my expertise. That's where I learned the basics of payroll. They sent me to a school there, and then since then I haven't looked back. I worked my way up to management and consulting. I've been fortunate to work across many different payroll avenues and learn from some of the brightest minds in the industry. I'm super excited to share my experiences and knowledge with you guys and learn even more about the ever changing landscape that is payroll because that's one thing that we can be certain of in this industry. Things are always changing.
Yeah, true indeed. True indeed. In this podcast, we will cover the payroll universe, all that is payroll, all the different things. And we say payroll universe because it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different pieces and parts to it that people don't realize. And I know I love meeting other payroll professionals and or getting on the groups, and we all rally around the fact that we have to wear many different hats, even though we're still in payroll.
Hmm.
So, payroll universe it is. Our first
Exactly.
season will outline the 5 pillars of payroll. We have developed these pillars out of chaos, really. A lot of times in payroll, you don't have the organizational tools you need, or you have
Exactly.
some, but not others. You got to find
Hmm.
workarounds,
Hmm.
things like that. A lot of sometimes as well, the processes are not, especially with companies that are transitioning from manual to automated or growing
Yeah.
rapidly. The processes, meaning like the SOPs, the standard operating procedures,
Hmm.
the rules of every task and how you do it are not really developed out. And when you're in that type of chaos, you need something to help guide you and to stay on track and to get back to the foundation, because you could get you there's so many different rabbit holes that you can go down in payroll and get
Yeah.
caught up.
Exactly.
So these pillars really help us to get find our bearings
Yeah.
and find what true north is, and to get us focused on what we need to do our job, because at the end of the day, payroll, we have to deliver paychecks and as accurately as possible. So
Hmm.
these pillars will help guide you through that. So that's our first season, and then we have a lot of other ideas for some continued seasons.
Coming up.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, some of those upcoming seasons, just to get a picture of what those some of those may be. We'll take you through a journey through payroll and what that looks like. We'll provide you with some organizational tools. We'll probably have some guests on who are payroll professionals in the industry, some people that we've partnered with, and everything like that. Yeah, we're excited for what's to come, and we're looking forward to sharing this experience with you.
Welcome to the Hire Her podcast, where women in talent call all the shots. We know, another recruiting podcast, just what the industry needs. Okay, but hear us out. You ever spend hours sourcing that perfect candidate, but they end up ghosting you harder than your hinge date? Or finally, you get that hiring manager feedback, only for them to, of course, say, "Can we see more candidates?" Lame, right? But let's talk about what's really lame in the industry. How is it that 65% of recruiters are brilliant women, yet most of the decision makers look like a convention for middle-aged dudes named Brad?
That's where we come in. Hire Her isn't just another podcast about hiring trends you already heard like 50 times this week. We're here to elevate women in talent, share their career journeys, and make sure they take the lead. Because let's face it, if recruiting is the backbone of every company, why are we still fighting for a seat at the table? So whether you're a recruiter, a talent leader, or just someone trying to swim through the sausage fest of TA leadership, we got you, girl. Welcome to Hire Her, the recruiting podcast where women's voices aren't just heard, but they're leading the conversation.
So subscribe now, because middle management Brad sure as hell isn't going to do it for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of this is about solving problems and solutions. Payroll presents a lot of challenges. And if you're going to have a payroll podcast, you need to talk about solutions.
Yes.
So that's what we thought, or finally settled on, starting the first season being the 5 pillars, because walking through the 5 pillars of payroll, we can talk about problems and we can talk about solutions. The motivation for this podcast was born from our personal project. We have an app coming out called PayQuest.
Yes.
And it's done. It's in MVP stage right now. We're really excited. We've gone through a first beta round, really getting some good feedback so far. We're excited for the next steps. And we just, it was natural for us to combine this podcast effort with the launch of the app.
Yes.
Like, what better way to connect with the community and talk about the problems, and what we will go on to do is solve more problems through our roadmap of apps. Like, we want to be the Google of payroll solutions.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And not payment systems, folks. We always talk about, are we going to do a payment system? No, that's not our plan right now. It maybe somewhere down the road, if that's where this journey takes us, then great. But that's not really what our focus is. Our focus is helping payroll professionals solve problems.
Exactly. In our conversations, Brian and I realized that payroll is really an underserved market. You won't find a lot of podcasts out there. You won't find a lot of different things that pertain to the people in the industry, more so the procedures and policies of the industry, more so than the people. And we wanted to help the people, because when we came up, Brian and I didn't have all the help. We had to learn a lot of it on our own. We had some help along the way. There were some people who were pillars in our career and gave us knowledge and stuff that we took little nuggets from, but we had to learn a lot of it on our own and be trendsetters for ourselves in our careers.
Yeah, you find that you're your own pioneer, right? We're pioneers. Like, there's no training. We had to find the APA. There's just no formal roadmap for a payroll professional. And our goal is to be a part of that change and help create that roadmap for payroll professionals. Because, like Walt said, there's not a lot of content out there, and we want to help fill that gap. And we ask you guys, listeners, if you have the motivation, come and join us on this journey. Go create another payroll podcast and cover something else and help us fill the gap. Because, again, I always give the example, if you want to be a photographer, you can go out and get a ton of content on how to be a photographer. You want to be a payroll professional, you're going to come up limited. Not that there's none. There's content out there, but it's not like every other subject, so underserved.
It's not as robust.
No, it's not as robust. Exactly. And you're going to hear us say that a lot. It's underserved market. And it really is. And if you're like, we're preaching to the choir. We want to be a part of that change. And there are other folks out there on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is probably the best social media platform right now for payroll professionals, because it's payroll. We're starting to expand on other platforms as well, but hey, there's wide open lanes there, is like to create content on all these different social medias and point it back to payroll. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Look out for us on LinkedIn. Our profile links are in our show notes, so you can check us out. Shoot us questions. We're going to have shows on questions, right? Hopefully we get a ton of questions and we can just cover some questions in the show. If we get any questions in between episodes, we'll start off the episode with covering the questions that we got so far. So that'll be fun, right? I'm excited to connect with the community and see what other problems are out there that we can help each other solve, because it's all about building a knowledge base for us to tap into.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And also, going back to our app, we do have a short episode where we speak more about the app and
check it out.
why we created it. And it's for payroll people, by payroll people.
Absolutely.
So
the origin story.
Yeah, check it out.